because I am me, I'm trying to fit far too many projects into too short a span with too many other things going on, so I've got something nice to wear to PAX. Let's start the next project. We're going to make a top to go with this, and maybe a skirt too. Hello, it's Icy. Yes, I'm back with the next part of the Going to PAX in 2023 outfit series. Is it a series? I mean, I guess I'm making something every year. So link in the corner for the previous videos of where I made some stuff for last year. One of the other previous videos are the pants and braces that I am wearing right now. So the next part of this is to make a top out of the same fabric to go with it. So the original vibe that I wanted to achieve with these was something that looked like overalls, because I don't know, overalls are really cool, except they look terrible on me. Oh, they look so bad. And so I wanted to give like a visual vibe of that, because it was sort of futuristic, kind of looked practical, but not really, because obviously it's made out of fancy stretch suiting material, the whole thing. Anyway, you know, we fit ideas together in our head and then see if they work in real life. So the next part of this project is a top. So I want to make this basically. So and possibly a skirt to go with. So it's very similar. The skirt is very similar, maybe identical to the previous chevron skirt. But I think I am going to go with, I might still remake the chevron skirt, but I think what I'm going to do actually is make a fresh skirt off that as a pattern, as opposed to chopping it apart and like reusing the chevrons. I might still do that. Have not yet decided, but I think I'm going to go with making something first. So the idea is we're going to have piping on these darker lines across here and then down. Still going to have a two-part, do I need a two-part? It is going to still be a two-part waistband. It might not be fully two parts, it's just going to look like it, with a little bit of piping down there on the join. And then that's going to match up with the seam on the skirt. And then there's going to be piping across the top of the sort of the side pocket. The skirt will have the same sort of two-part waistband as I've got on these pants. So with the buttons as well. So that way I can choose to wear the suspenders / braces with either the pants or the skirt. And I would be able to wear this top with the pants or the skirt as well. And then it all should tie together. It should still give the vibe. So basically I've got two separate looks. Well, I guess four because you can just wear it with a shirt with or without the various options. So, you know, so that's pretty good. That's nice and flexible. That's what we like. Okay, so assembly wise, we're looking at going to be a double. Actually, it's probably the whole thing's going to be a double layer, I think, because I think around the chest, I think I need the extra stretch of having like a double layer. This is very stretchy material, and I just think it's not going to sit well as a single layer. But if I make it a double layer, it's still going to be stretchy, but it's going to have some support, if that makes sense, because it will be a close fitting top around here. So we're going to have, at least on the front, we're going to have, on the outer layer, we're going to have a band, and then the piping, and then I'm going to call it a bib, because that's kind of the vibe that it's meant to be. And then on the inside, that will just be a single piece, because that'll be easier. The waistband is a separate piece. Then the sides are going to be single pieces, and there's just going to be, the other reason for this, having a double layer at the top here, is the shoulder pieces should go in really nicely and then just be sewn, and then there's not all like manky extra sew lines or anything. It should look really clean, basically, which is an advantage. The sides are just going to be single pieces, and they're going to be just hemmed across the top, and they're going to come from, I don't know, sort of about here, I guess, and then go shunk down a little bit. So pretty much it just would sit above, if I wasn't wearing a t-shirt underneath, it would sit above the back of my bra, basically. So, you know, if I wanted to wear it just as a shirt, then like my bra would be covered, if that makes sense. So on the back, we're going to go with sort of this one. I'm going to go with something similar to this one. So you can see the side pieces coming around. Then it's a single, probably a double layer piece at the back, but no extra like strip across the back, because it's just adding complication at that stage. And then the top of the straps are I'm actually going to replicate the shape and look of the suspenders. So actually like literally copy the shape of these and then do some sort of tricky triangle join thing that comes up and probably goes over top from the back piece as well. So that's the current plan. Oh, and on the front, as needed, there'll be like little tiny, very small, little tiny darts as well, as required to sort of fit this whole thing. Now, how am I going to achieve all of this? I'm literally going to stick it on my body and pin it in place and then draw some lines and see if I can get something. Is that going to work? It's stretch fabric, so if it doesn't, it'll be close enough. So when I was making the pants, I knew I'd need some extra waistbands and things. So I do actually have some extra pre-sewn sections because I knew I was going to make it. So it was like, I'm already cutting this stuff out, so I'll just make it. So this is nominally the back part of the waistband, and I've got the front part there as well. But what I think is if I go like that and then pin that there and then mark out where where the suspenders hit and all of that sort of stuff, I think I can sort of pattern off me. So that might work. Let's see if that works. But the skirt would be, well, I don't know, second part of the video, hopefully, if I put it in. Really depends on how long this all takes. And then for the skirt, the idea is, just I'm going to copy the chevron skirt. So we'll see how that goes. I've thought a lot about how the shirt goes together and how I'm going to seam it, and inside out I'm going to do like invisible seams here, like not invisible, but like neat inside seams here, and then I think there's a tricky way I can do it on the back so there's no visible stitching anywhere. It's all a thing, but I have not thought as carefully about the skirt yet. But I think for the skirt, possibly that entire front panel for the skirt might be a double layer as well. And for much the same reason, where I need a bit more, I don't want it to be too loosey stretchy across the front. Like a double layer, this is a double layer, it's more substantial. And I think the skirt would benefit from having that on the front. And it would also make that tricky lower hem thing that I've got going on so much easier. So anyway, we're gonna try some things. We're gonna sew some bits. We're gonna pin, see if I can avoid stabbing myself. You know, all these great things, and then see what we get. Okay, we have some measurements. I hope these will be close enough. I'll just add like big seam allowances, you know, as you do. You might have wondered why I could not like hold the tape measure on this side, basically at the sort of where my bra strap meets the thing. When I was young, very young Icy was sitting on a chair that was on a table for a play in a classroom with teacher supervision, I might add, and then I fell off. And then I broke my arm here, like not all the way through, like a green stick fracture it's called. And I did not realize for many, many years, like 20 years, that I'd never gotten full mobility back. It wasn't until I started doing like yoga for a while, I realized, oh, I can go this way, but I can't go this way. I can't actually lift that arm up past my waist, basically. Anyway, just a thing. So it makes like measuring at the back a little tricky, you know. So I think that's a plan. So we've got oh, I actually didn't measure that dimension. That dimension is what is that? 30 across there. Okay, so we have a plan. And also, what I'm noticing, so this is a straight line, but that's actually hitting just right. So I'm not sure how that changes my pattern. I might actually have a band that goes all the way around to here instead, and then just have smaller sections. Because like if the whole band just works, the whole band just works. It's kind of like, why cut it into sections if I can just get the whole thing in? So I might end up doing that where it's just a band. So, but we have, okay, so we have the top of the bust. The difference between over the apex and beside the bust is 3 centimeters. So that means I just need like a little 3 centimeter dart on the side. I think that should work. Which means that the side seam of this is also 25 centimeters. So I'm measuring to the top of the waistband of the pants, because the idea is the bottom of, like basically the waistband on this replicates the waistband of the pants. So they like overlap. So that should give me, I probably need a little bit more because these do sit quite high and I need the top to go, you know, down a little bit further. So we might add a little bit. So this is for the side panel. That should be the same seam length. So I think it'll be 15 across. I need to just check against the other skirt, because if I want to replicate the seams on the chevron skirt and then take those onto a new skirt, I want those back seams at the back of the top to line up with the skirt. So I'll measure that and work out what that is as well. I think it's, ooh, what number is that? I think that says 18. Oh, that says 18. Oh, let's just fix that up. 18. So 18 from the top of the waistband up to just above my bra strap line, diagonally from here to here to the, basically to just the outside of the bra is 19. So that should allow me to make that triangular section fairly easily, we hope. The dimension across the back is 19. Across the waist as well should be 19, and then just vertical lines basically for the back piece. Yeah, might work. We'll see. The next plan, cut out some pieces, sew them together with simple seams. I see, simple seams. So if you need to unpick, you are not unpicking like 6 layers. Got it? Simple seams. Try it on, and then if it all works and fits reasonably well, then we go back in and do the fancy finishing, and like hide all the raw edges and do the fancy after that. So yeah, let's see how far we can get. this project, man. Anyway, just a short update. So the top is done. It looks so cute. I'm really pleased with it. There was some degree of unpicking and going back over stuff, but you know, it was just like little fiddly bits where stuff, like it was, oh no, I designed that wrong, as opposed to made a mistake, and so I had to unpick it and redo it. The skirt, however, so yeah, remaking the skirt with the chevrons. As you do, this is the finished skirt, and every single seam in this skirt was unpicked and re-sewn. Sometimes several times. I don't know what, how. The brain was not working real good on the day I did, well, the 2 main days I did the sewing on this. I thought it was fine on the first day. The second day I knew, oh no, I'm not, something wrong with me. I am very, very smooth-brained today. But I'm just sewing straight lines. It will be fine. Viewer, it was not fine. So anyway, it's done. It fits. It looks great. Design slightly modified. You'll see it when I do a reveal. These nice little diamond, cut off diamonds, sort of just where the slit is, just above the knee. Actually, I haven't checked to see they look okay yet. It's fine. If they're not good, I'll just unpick them. So that's done. Now, on those same 2 days, I started doing the prep for the second skirt, because why not make 2 at the same time? Because they're kind of using the same established pattern. Sorry, do I have thread stuck in my glasses? Oh my God. And that's because, yes, that's right. Despite the fact all I'd done on that skirt was just line up the pockets and sew them on the side panels, which are just great big covering things. Apparently, because I did this on the first day where I thought my brain was working but obviously wasn't, they're not even. And so this morning I've just spent another 15 minutes unpicking the pockets on one of the side panels so I can re-sew it on. And because this is all stretch material, I'm using a fancy stitch that has like so many individual stitchy bits on it. So it's like an overlapped zigzag so that you retain the stretch. But it takes so long to unpick. Anyway, I was thinking this second skirt would be much more straightforward, because it's like, oh, okay, I've made all my mistakes now on the first skirt, and now we're just going to sew the second one. I will just, already had done the pocket, which was the fiddly stuff, and then it's just putting together, make a few changes, add some pleats, do some stuff. No, instead, I'm going to be re-sewing these pockets. I had a chunk of time. We're going to whinge here for a minute. Don't mind me. Just skip forward. I had a chunk of time to do these sewing projects. I had some time off, allocated some chunks of time to do the sewing projects. I have curtains I want to make for in here as well. Have I even made it to the curtains yet? No, because we've been doing so much unpicking, and oh my God. Anyway, the result is going to be fabulous, but the getting to the result, oh my God. Anyway, I guess what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and do some more sewing, because we can't stop now, can we? A project. Well, that was a thing. That was the most certainly the most frustrating projects I have ever completed. I just spent so long unpicking during this whole affair. All to, honestly, at least half remake a skirt that I'd already made because I was so unsatisfied with it. I am delighted with the final result of the new remade chevron skirt. It's good, it fits well. Some things that I did wrong though. I didn't need, like, I wanted to do French seams just to tidy it all up to make it look amazing. I didn't need that. The whole chevron skirt has like a double panel at the front and the back, which of course hides all of the crimes. I didn't need to do any of those. So I certainly did unpick the French seams off the back of it where it was, the bulk was more noticeable. I did not worry about the French seams at the front of the chevron skirt. By that stage it was like, I don't care now. So I hope in 50 years somebody finds this skirt and goes, oh, that's a cool skirt. Why did they do that? And I hope there's some sewist out there somewhere that goes, oh yeah, they just got sick of it by that point. So the top is great. The top worked so well. I did the top first. We're talking about it in the wrong order. It's fine. It does exactly give me the vibe of a pair of overalls, and I am here for it. It fits so snugly, but in a great way. Yeah, it does have a tiny bit of cable tie boning just at the back, just the two seams at the back, and that's great. That's all it needs. It doesn't go down into the waistband. It's just there, and that seems to be doing the absolute bee's knees of a trick of holding the whole thing together. The design of just like putting a strip here, like a flat strip across, and then having the rest, great. It's giving me exactly what I wanted from a top. You can wear it with or without a shirt underneath, so it does, like, it looks great that way as well. I've now found out, so all of these clothes are to wear to PAX Australia, the large gaming convention I'm planning to go to, as of recording of this video, like in like 5 days, 6 days from now. What day is it? Saturday? Say 5 days from now. The forecast is now for 12 degrees, which is so cold. It's so cold. And I won't be ensconced in a warm location. I'll be out having to walk places and hang out in cold areas. And I am... Chat, I hate the cold so much. I am going to be wearing like 3 pairs of socks. Anyway, I need to completely give it another couple of days to let the weather forecast solidify, and then I'm going to have to like totally think about what I'm doing. I will still be wearing these outfits, but I'll just have more layers on underneath, which is the beauty of them, certainly. So chevron skirt, finally acceptable, sits nicely, looks good, and not in terrible material. Top, fantastic. And the second skirt. Ultimately, I got something I am very pleased with. The kind of the pleats, look, it was the end of a very long project. I'm not sure I recorded much footage of this skirt. It's kind of like talking about how I spent so much unpicking and then, you know, tiny bit of sewing and then cut to this video, I think. But nonetheless, I'm really happy. So just to give you an idea of what I did, this one is French seamed, front and back, and that's good. Because this one is not double layer here, because this one is less fitted than the chevron skirt, because I've kind of gone for, it's not A-line as such, but I've got these giant knife pleats at the bottom, and they work so great. They're pulled to the sides, so the back one pulls to the side and the front one pulls to the side, and then I've got this diagonal piece of, which you totally can't see here, my apologies, diagonal piece of stitching and like a top stitched strip to hold the box pleats in place. Could have, I mean, I worked this out after, could have come up to the hips, I think that would have been too bulky anyway. So, and that fabric came from, because I did cut out a front, like I thought I would be doing a double front, double back layer, and I didn't, and I just cut those in half and then turned those into the pleats. So it worked really well. This is set up with the buttons as well, the front and the back, so that I can wear it with the suspenders if I want as well. So I basically, out of this project, have a pair of wide-legged pants, trousers, whatever, suspenders, top, and 2 skirts, and they can all be intermingled and intermatched, all out of the same fabric. Shout out to the friend who I inherited that off. I've got about a meter and a long skinny strip off the bottom left of this fabric. My brain went a week ago, something like that. Ooh, you know what would be great with this? What if I made myself a wide-sleeved, vaguely kimono-style jacket to go with all of this? And my brain went, oh, great idea. And then I finished sewing, and now my brain is like, I do not want to do any more on this project. It is possible at some point I might whip something up, because I'm sure it would not be hard, but I don't have time before PAX, because I have some other big projects that I wanted to do in this time off that I've had, and I have not started them because this project took so long. I honestly thought this would be done in the first week, and now we're on the 4th week, the end of the 4th week, and I've another few days in Sydney, and then I'm in Melbourne, and then I start work again. So anyway, are there any ongoing problems? I think with this, certainly this material crushes more than what I'm used to wearing. It's not terrible, but it does need to be ironed, so that is a downside. But I had the material, and I was not buying shitty material again that I won't be able to use for any other projects because it's so shitty. I am talking about the original chevron skirt fabric. I don't know what I'm going to do with that terrible fabric. We'll work out something. So in essence, I'm happy with how it turned out, if not happy with the process to get here. I do not think that any of these videos are going to be up before I actually go to PAX, because yeah, that's like next week. So so if you're interested in catching all of my adventures at PAX, do check out the other channel in the past. I think I'm going to do a heap of cool stuff, so should have some exciting things over there, and you know, I leave the house once a year, and apparently to go to Melbourne pretty much. So thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. I appreciate it. So after all these, we are going to be heading back to the Victorian project. There is one, at some point, there's another interesting video, hopefully, that I can drop in here, which is pretty cool, and I'm very excited about. Something about where I sew, I guess. It's a renovation-y type thing, except it's not a real renovation, but it's an update to the sewing space video. But I'm really looking forward to that one as well. Thank you so much. Follow me on the socials, details in the description. Do come over and see me at Instagram and Threads, actually, which is, of course, the best named social experience for people who sew, right? But surprisingly, Mastodon, absolutely fantastic for sewing type people. So do check those out. You can find me in the links in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Icy, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.